Hey guys, welcome to Testing Universe. In this Selenium interview question video, we are going to see the difference between get window handle and get window handles and four frequently asked follow-up questions on window handles. Okay, so this is one of the very common interview question you will encounter from the interviewer because in our testing or if you take any application, you will be working on multiple windows at a time, right? So you might have to open a parent window, and then from that parent window when you click on something, it will open a new window or new tab, and then you have to work or migrate or change between those two windows, right, to work on. So for that reason, it is very important how exactly we are going to handle such scenarios in your automation script. They want to verify or understand your knowledge on that, and they also want to verify whether you have really worked on that particular multiple window concept or not. So this is one of the common interview question. And the difference between get window handle and get window handles is very simple, but there are follow-up questions which is very important. So I would recommend you people to watch this video till the end to get all the understanding of all the follow-up questions, because there are some small tricky questions also are there which you have to really explain. And there are some questions which are very practical, in the sense whether you have really worked on this concept or not, they want to understand with the help of those questions. Okay, so let's first see the difference between get window handle and get window handles. So get window handle is used to get the current driver instance wherever it is pointing to, right? It is going to return that particular unique id, right? So that is get window handle, which means it returns the window handle of the current focused window by the driver instance, and that uniquely identifies it. Okay, that particular window will be uniquely identified, which means whenever a window is opened, Selenium, right, Selenium WebDriver will assign one unique ID to that particular window, and that ID will be returned, by this particular get window handle. This is used to get only one value. It is used to get only one value where that particular window has been focused by the driver. So what is get window handles then? It returns a set of window handles, which means when if we have opened multiple windows like 3 to 4 windows, and then if you want to get all the values of those windows, and then you want to switch between those windows using your script, then you can make use of get window handles, right? It returns a set of window handles or set of values of all the open windows including parent window. So this is very important. Whenever it is returning all the window handle, all the window ids, right, it returns along with the parent window of the current driver instance. So that this answer is very important. The interviewer will be expecting these small clarifications or clarity from you people, because if you don't answer that, definitely there will be a follow-up interview question to you by the interviewer saying whether it returns parent window id, or it is going to return only the child window ids. If you say child window ids, maybe to confuse you, they might ask that question. Then if you say only child window ids, then they will ask get window handle is used to get only the parent window id. It's not like that, right? Whatever window the driver is pointing to, that window id you can get it using get window handle. Okay, that clarity you should have. So to avoid all these confusing questions, you can mention along with parent window id, it is going to return all the window ids. Okay, so that should be the answer. Once you answer this first point, next the you can always mention the return type, which is a very good and detailed explanation. If you mention the return type of get window handle and get window handles, it is always good, right? So the return type of get window handle is string, because it is going to return only one value. The return type of get window handles is set of strings, right? Set of strings. Even though if you don't mention this difference, right, they are going to ask definitely what exactly this will return, or they might ask you to write a code with right, get all the windows. I have three windows, right? Get all the windows using this method, and then you know switch to that particular window. They might ask such questions, so you should be prepared for that. So it is always better, you know, to mention this. It returns set of strings because you will always be knowing about that, right? So it is always better to mention. So once you mention, these are small differences we have, but there are, you know, very detailed follow-up questions. So we'll go to them. So the first follow-up question they might ask you, or they will definitely ask you, is why get window handles method, right? Get window handles method returns a set. Why can't it return a list? Okay, so this is the first question. Why it will return a set? Why can't it return? Uh, I'm extremely sorry. Why can't it return a list? Okay, so the immediate answer should be what it is indirect way of asking what is the difference between set and list. You don't have to mention all the, you know, differences, but right, set stores unique values, and to work on multiple windows we always need to have unique IDs, right? If one if you return a list will store always store a duplicate value. When list stores duplicate value and duplicate values are returned, I might, you know, have to iterate more than once to a particular window. So for that reason they are returning a set. That is the first answer. Okay, the next answer is internally the window IDs are inserted into a linked hash set to maintain the insertion order. Okay, this is an internal implementation. Even though if you don't answer, this is okay. If you really want to answer, you can answer that. Once they get all the window IDs, they are going to insert in a linked hash set instead of you know, inserting in a hash set. Okay, because linked hash set will maintain the insertion order, and then hash set will not mention, or it will not guarantee the insertion order. So for that reason, so they want to maintain the insertion order of the values, as well as, you know, they want to store unique values. For that reason they are going to return a set. If you answer this, the interviewer will be very pleased with the answer, right? So what is the next question? This is related to the implementation, right? Why it is returning a set, and why, you know, but don't give the answer like that's how the Selenium WebDriver people have implemented to return a set. Don't give that answer. That is not the, you know, right way of answering the question. I have seen a lot of people who will be answering that's how it has been implemented. Okay, it is returning a set, but why? The question is why. Okay, so you should answer in detail. What is the next question? Next question is they want to understand your practical exposure on these particular methods, or whether you have really worked on multiple windows and how you have handled that. Okay, so what is the question? How will you ensure that the window is switched to the correct window you want to work on? How will you ensure that the window is switched to the correct window you want to work on? To understand this particular question, right, let me you know, go to this website gmail.com, and then I will click on help, and then I will also click on privacy. I might be, you know, working, you know, I will be moving towards these three windows multiple times. But the first time, what I want to do is I have opened it, and then I will come to Google account help, and then I will search for something here. Okay, so the question the interviewer has asked is, right, if you want to do the manual testing of this, what you will do, you will click on help, you will click on privacy, and then when you click on this particular tab, you are coming to this particular Google account help page. How will you ensure that this is the right page? By verifying the title. Okay, so if title is not there, by verifying the uh, page header. If page header is not there, whether you know, you are verifying with multiple other options, right? There is a you know, search box which is available, or how can we help you is a text you want to verify, like that many other options will be there. With the help of many other you know, web elements or many other parameters, you are going to identify manually, you know, I'm talking about manual testing, that you are in the right page, and then you are going to enter. But in case of your you know, automation script, you will not be having all these parameters which is passed, right? You will be having only a unique window ID given by Selenium WebDriver. So how will you ensure you are in the right page to work on, right? So that is the question. So this is one of the common question you are going to get. So the first answer is by verifying the title of the page. I am going to ensure I am in the right page, right? And then by verifying the page header, if the title is available, and then if I am satisfied with that checkpoint, I will stop there. Otherwise, sometimes what happens in some of the implementations, right, page title may not be there. It might be a common page title for all the new windows which are going to open. So in those scenarios, what you can do, you can have multiple checkpoints also. If title is also there, you can also have one more checkpoint. You want to verify the page header. You want to verify the page header and ensure by verifying these two also, I can ensure I'm in the right page. Sometimes the page title might be duplicate with some other tab or page. Then you can have multiple verification points, or it's only one verification point is also sufficient, right? It all depends on how exactly your application has been developed. And then the third verification point is if these two are not there, by verifying the element or elements we will work on immediately after loading the page. That's what I have shown here. I want to verify whether some header text or some element which I am going to work on, whether that element is present or not, right? So that is also one of the verification point I can think of, right? If you mention these three, it is more than sufficient, right? So the next question is, this is a rare question, but you might get this question. So that's why I'm trying to cover that here. To get a window handle or ID, URL should be loaded, or without loading the URL also we can get it. Okay, we'll see a practical implementation. But what they're asking here is, let me go to our code. Okay, so before calling the driver.get method, if I call driver.get window handle at this point, driver.get window handle or window handles, right? If I call at this point, whether I am going to get the ID or not, or get window handle will be returned or not, right? The answer for that is yes. Why yes? Because as soon as the driver is initialized, right? As soon as the driver is initialized, window handle can be obtained. In the sense, as soon as the driver is initialized, your browser will be opened, right? And then when you call get method, then only this get method is used to pass the URL. So for that reason, you can always get the window handle or ID when without loading the URL also. So that is the answer you should give. And what happens if we close or quit window and try to get the window handles? Okay, so for example, you have opened 4 windows. So in some portion of your code, the driver.close has been called, and then that window has been closed. But in other portion of your code, if you consider your framework, so you are trying to once again pass the window ID of the closed window, or you can there are possibilities that you have already called the quit method, which will uh, close all the windows along with the driver instance and all those scenarios, and then you are trying to continue with your execution. So maybe due to some code error or some flow issues, you might have written like that. So in those situations, what happens, right? So it's an indirect way of asking the question, what type of exception you are going to get if you call the window handle methods after closing or after quitting the window. So the straight away one liner answer is, you will encounter no such session exception. You will encounter no such session exception. Okay, so these are some of the very important follow-up interview questions you are going to get. So what we are going to do here is, we will take up one example of this particular gmail.com, and then we will try to cover this example, and then we will also try to cover these two and see whether we are going to get the, in this case, whether we are going to get the window handle, whether we are going to hit the exception or not. Okay, so let me go to gmail.com and then I will load the or I will click on help driver dot find element by dot link text, and it is help dot click. I will also add a wait time. I'll just, for the demonstration purpose, I will add a wait time thread dot sleep. Okay, the first thing what we'll see here is how will you handle multiple windows, how will you verify you are in the right window or not, by verifying the title. Okay, so for that what I will do, I will use for each loop. You can use for loop, for each loop, right, and iterator also. So after this I'm going to do driver dot get window handles, and then it is going to return me set of string windows. Okay, and then you can import, I have already imported it here, java.util.set, and then for each loop. Okay, I'm using for each loop, and then I'm going to get the first window id in otherwise in every iteration I will store the window in one of the window id. So for that driver dot switch to dot window, right, what is the window handle, I am going to pass this window handle, and then I will do get title. Okay, let me just print these two so that we will have a clarity we are going to get the title. Let me run this. It has loaded gmail.com, and then it has clicked on help, and then you can see here Gmail is the first title, and then Google account help is the second title, right? So how exactly we are going to work on, so that is very very important. So string title is equal to, I'm going to get the title, and then if title dot equals, or you can always use equals ignore case, right, which is equal to that, then what I will do, I am going to click on this particular community link. I'm going to click on the community link. You can see here, you can always click on, that is an anchor tag, so you can click on community. Okay, so let me go to my code again, driver dot find element by dot link text community dot click. Okay, so it should click on community link. Let me run it again. You can see here it has clicked on community link, right? So it is working. This is how you can switch to the right window with the help of title. I have explained you title. You can always add these two verification points also wherever it is necessary. You can try that out. Okay, next thing is, to get a window handle or id, url should be loaded, or without loading the url can we get it. So where exactly we need to get the window handle, here before loading the url. So driver dot get window handle, and then I will just print this. Parent window. Okay, I'm going to print the parent window. Let's see the same thing, parent window before url, and then after loading the url also I'm going to get the parent window. After loading the url, just add a sleep time so that the demonstration would be neat and clean. I will run it again. it is going to click on community, but our intention here is we want to see what is the window we are going to get, right? So you can see here parent window before URL and parent window after URL, both are same. So which means, right, without loading the URL also we can get the window ID. Right. So what is the next question? What happens if we close or quit window and try to get window handles? So what I will do, I will, before here, I will click on this and then driver dot, not here. Driver dot close. Okay. So I will load the URL and then I will close it. Let us see what happens. You can see here we have encountered no such session exception. We have encountered no such session exception, which is invalid session ID. Okay, so that's about this particular video. If you like this video, you can subscribe to our channel. You can always follow us on this particular Facebook page. You can find us in our website, as well as you can subscribe or follow us on the Facebook group also. Thank you so much for watching this video.